Hi there, and welcome to the Practitioner's Guide to Awakening the Innate or Inner Healer. This is a presentation for anyone in the healing arts profession or who might want to be. People who are or who are going to be counselors, reiki practitioners, massage therapists, yoga instructors, social workers, life coaches, nutritional coaches, and anyone who might need healing themselves or has a desire to bring healing to the world through one-on-one or group support. So thank you for joining me. And let's review the topics in today's presentation. Um, We'll go over tapping into the subconscious mind. We'll go over hidden subconscious belief systems, how we all have this inner saboteur that needs healing, that's calling out for healing, really. We'll talk about repatterning hidden subconscious belief systems that are holding people back and the use of imagery for healing. We'll talk about the law of mirroring or the law of attraction and helping people to access their desire for healing. I am Jenna Allin. I am a mindful healing educator. I teach mindfulness-based trauma recovery and emotional clearing methods. I teach mindfulness. I teach various different things. A lot of the topics will be covered in this presentation. I am a social worker currently. I have a degree in psychology. I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I've been certified in trauma resolution and recovery. I am trained as a life coach and have training as well in domestic violence advocacy. So the subconscious mind is said to control up to or maybe even more than 98% of all of our actions and decisions. So we give our clients the most support by teaching them how to tap into the power of their mind. And most of it, as you can see, 98% is, hidden underneath the surface. It's like those images you see of a glacier or an iceberg where the tip of it and the tip of what we see is just the beginning, is that it's just the tip. So we want to help people get deeper down under the surface to find out what's going on. That's the purpose of all therapy, therapeutic, or counseling approaches, and why they're so successful is because they do help people access some of those hidden subconscious agendas they've got going on, right? But retraining the mind to behave and act differently than it has for an entire lifetime is a lot of work. But with your help, your clients can begin their journey toward freedom from their symptoms of chronic pain or symptoms of mental illness or even just your regular run-of-the-mill self-sabotage. And you will get the rewards of watching them succeed and grow in leaps and bounds rather than sitting by and watching them spin their wheels like maybe you have done in the past once you learn the powers of the subconscious mind and how to tap into them, how to engage your client in embracing them and moving forward with them. So there are two parts to really healing the mind that I use with my clients. And the first is mindfulness, which is getting to know the mind. It's a set of techniques like meditation, mindful eating, mindful walking, and others for the purpose of cultivating awareness. Because when we are acutely aware of the mind's habits and patterns, then we are able to develop the skills to cope when certain states of mind like pain, suffering, and stress come on. And soon enough, with the use of mindfulness on a regular basis, these states of mind or states of being like pain, suffering, stress they soon start to diminish on their own with the use of mindfulness. And it's kind of magical and a little bit amazing. The second piece I've been using in my practice since 2010 is reprogramming the subconscious mind for health, balance, success, and happiness. Um, and I use this in those areas of life that don't seem to respond as swiftly to mindfulness, or even prevent my clients from being able to utilize meditation as a technique for healing. Reprogramming the subconscious mind is a lot easier than you might think and has a very far reaching impact, changing symptoms of mental illness, physical illness, and everything in between, like general discomfort, unease, unhappiness. And essentially, when we work in the subconscious mind with people and we help them reprogram their old patterns, we are helping to put our client back in the driver's seat of their lives. We help them repattern the deeply held belief systems that prevent them from achieving success, attaining health, reaching happiness, and that have been causing symptoms in their life. In my work, I'm working with my clients on updating the old programs to match their present desires and creating a reintegration of mind, body, and spirit. So we'll touch a little bit on mindfulness. Mindfulness is super easy to teach to others. I teach my practitioners in my training class how to develop their own mindfulness practice, and how to teach others to do mindfulness in easy ways that are workable in our busy, hectic lifestyles. Mindfulness is becoming more widely accepted in hospitals across the country as an adjunct to many other healing modalities and assisting in speedier recoveries in a multitude of programs and treatments across the globe. Mindfulness is not a technique in itself, it is a way of life. It's a whole new way of seeing the world that is learned and practiced bit by bit. Meditation is one of the many techniques of mindfulness that is greatly misunderstood. Meditation, for example, is not about clearing the mind or feeling calmness or even peace. And I think this is why people who try meditation, walk away saying they quote unquote can't do it. But really, the truth is anyone can meditate, and mindfulness teaches people easy baby steps for observing the mind rather than trying to quiet it or change it in any way. And it's through this new way of observing the mind that a sense of peace arrives of its own accord. And it's actually kind of magical how the calm finds you when you stop seeking it and learn to just be with whatever it is without resistance, judgment, or fighting against it. And that's what mindfulness does. It teaches people a way of receiving the world and its challenges without suffering. Mindfulness has the power alone to completely transform someone's entire life. But there are some blockages and sabotage that come up in an individual's life that are so stubborn that they need a bit of extra love and nurturing. And for these, I use belief system repatterning. Belief system repatterning is a way of utilizing the power of the client's mind to find and eradicate hidden subconscious beliefs that have been interfering with your client's ability to succeed, heal, move forward, or find joy. In doing over 3,000 sessions delving into the subconscious minds of my clients, I have found that for every pain in someone's body, every imbalance of hormones, every mental illness symptom, every instance of sabotage, there is hidden deep within the psyche a belief system that, if changed, will heal the outward manifestation of that imbalance. Hormones will regulate, symptoms will dissipate, relationships will heal, suffering will end. The law of mirroring, or law of attraction as some know it, states that everything that you encounter in life is a reflection, a mirror image of that which is going on within you. If you have inner imbalances for example, around spousal abuse from growing up in an abusive home. You'll be more likely to marry an abusive partner, right? Everyone knows that a woman growing up as a child in an abusive household will most likely marry someone who perpetuates domestic violence against her, right? That's a little example, so just remember that for a second. The good news is that we are self-healing mechanisms. So think of a wound, a cut on your hand, and how when that cut happens, the wound itself draws to itself the necessary components for healing, right? And you, me, you, your clients are doing the same, right? All of our unhealed childhood wounds are drawing and attracting into our lives the situations and circumstances that the psyche needs in order to heal those imbalances, right? And our relationships, our pain, our medical issues, and our suffering are the mirror of these hidden subconscious wounds. Yes, even if your childhood was peachy roses all the time and everyone in your life constantly loved and adored and smiled at you, even you have many trauma wounds or faulty belief systems that developed about the world, your place in it, your value, or perhaps they're about your body or your bank account or whatever. You've got them too. No one is exempt from these hidden subconscious faulty belief systems. So back to that client who keeps getting into relationships with abusive partners, right? The purpose for attracting the abusive partner is to show ourselves that deep within we have faulty beliefs about what love really is or being worthy of nurturance from others, yada yada, so that we can heal it, right? So let me say that again. The purpose for attracting shit in our lives is to show us, is for the purpose of healing it, right? Show us that it's there so that we can heal it, right? So the most important aspects for survival are our emotional needs for unconditional love, acceptance, and approval. Our number one purpose in life is to cause love to be turned toward us. That's what a theory called intrapsychic humanism posits, right? I cause love to be turned toward me. That's my number one purpose in life. And this is based on the fact that if an infant has all of their physical needs met, they have food, they have water, they have shelter, they have clothing, they're kept warm, and they're fed, and everything's taken care of physically for them, but they do not receive loving nurturance and smiles and loving care, that infant will die, right? Even though all their physical needs are met, their emotional need for love was not met, so they will literally die, right? So what happens is in childhood, most of us who have lived past infancy, we're smiled at and cuddled and nurtured in some kind of way or to some extent. And we go along in life creating subconscious programs from those needs being met or unmet, those emotional needs for unconditional love, acceptance, and approval, right? We're all on some continuum of that, and we're all in different places, right? We come up with conclusions about who we are, how we fit into the world, how deserving we are, how worthy we are, how easy things come to us, and how much power we really have in certain situations or not, right? Epigeneticist and scientific researcher Bruce Lipton points out in his book, Biology of Belief, that most of our beliefs about how the world operates is programmed into our minds before age 7. Before age 7, like, whoa, that's really early. So we're walking around with all these programs that were put into place many, many years ago, and they're outdated, right? And these can be positive or negative, right? Like if you grow up having all of your basic needs provided for, you'll believe that that's a possible thing. Having all of my basic needs is possible, right? Or I'm worthy of having all of my basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter met, right? If you do not grow up in that environment where your basic needs are met, you might grow up believing that that's not possible or available to you or people like you. You might grow up believing that you're unworthy of having your basic needs met, right? Varying different beliefs might come out of that one situation, right? So they can be positive or negative. And then we act from these programs for the rest of our lives. So the point is that we are operating most of the time on faulty, outdated beliefs. We make broad and general conclusions about the world as children and our personal power in it. And we also decide what actions to take, whether to withdraw and isolate or to be boisterous and loud to get attention, or right, we decide, we make decisions about how to gain the most love possible at every moment. When we're very little. And when these belief systems are created, it's a matter of survival. This egoic grasping of information is not logical at the time that those belief systems are created. The mind doesn't have the mature vision or perspective of the world at that time, right? Remember, it's before age 7. It doesn't have the mature vision that we now do as adults. And we develop protective thought patterns in these times of repeated emotional overwhelm or repeated instances of unmet needs. Our mind concludes things like the world is a scary place, or my needs don't matter, or I can't trust myself to make decisions. And then action decisions result from each of those immature conclusions, right? Because the world's a scary place, I will protect myself by keeping to myself and not connecting with others, or by overanalyzing everything I do, or by remaining in control of all things possible at all times, right? And these deeply ingrained patterns can cause anxiety, over worrying, over analyzing our actions, thoughts, words, and decisions, right? Or maybe withdrawal from society and relationships, right? Or perhaps, right, we might be a very controlling person in relationship with others, right? So a build-up of these faulty belief systems that haven't been healed and dealt with, that haven't been properly addressed and nurtured, they will eventually manifest themselves as pain or illness in the physical body. So helping our clients see and understand the origin of these faulty belief systems within themselves creates a ripple effect of change, giving them control over their actions, returning them to the power of choice in their lives rather than being taken along for the ride by this immature subconscious mind, which is acting from those childhood wounds, right? I've witnessed experiences of clients' pain diminishing, and others who've done emotional clearing work like this have even seen miracles happen, like a paralyzed man walked again out of the office of my trainer who trained me in this work. This work and the power of the subconscious mind can really be that powerful. So we talked about belief system repatterning, how many of us are walking around with hidden subconscious subterfuge happening for us, right? And because of this phenomenon, these hidden faulty subconscious belief systems, the mind is simply not present and is not responding only to the present moment. Instead of taking life in stride, the mind is playing out long, consciously forgotten stories and living life as if the dangers of love withdrawal or even abuse from childhood are still occurring, right? A boss or coworker says something, and either inwardly or outwardly we fly off the handle, wondering, later on, wondering like why we overreacted, or maybe in some people being completely unable to see that they've overreacted, right? Or perhaps a backache is trying to get our attention, or a chronic autoimmune disease presents itself. Symptoms of anxiety or depression surface. We find ourselves maybe not pursuing a goal we've wanted to achieve, or we can't save the money that we wanted to, or a woman has hot flashes during menopause or excessive cramping during her periods, or a teenager is constantly bullied or still wets the bed, right? All of these are examples of situations where I helped my clients heal through their subconscious subterfuge and make changes in each one of these instances. And it's much easier to do than you might think. The answer to this subconscious subterfuge is mindfulness based trauma recovery. This is a combination of teaching mindfulness to our clients while doing belief system repatterning or emotional clearing work, as it can also be called. Mindfulness based trauma recovery is a combination of mindfulness, light trance hypnosis, imagery work, and age regression that creates monumental healing in gentle yet empowering and effective ways. In my own first session of this type of emotional clearing work, it was like having 10 therapy sessions in one. And it helped me more than all of my years of therapy sessions combined. It helped me to access the landscape of my inner world and uncover the hidden agendas of my mind that were going on there. I literally left the first session with an entirely new perspective on the world. I was able to see colors brighter. The grass looked greener. The sky looked bluer to me when I went outside and got in my car after my first session. But the biggest perspective change was the sense of power that I had to change my life for the better. Just seeing that I had created these faulty belief systems and where they had come from and why they were there gave me the empowerment to know that I could change them, that I could have control over my healing and my wellness. And, don't worry about the long title. Depending on your professional use, if you were to take the mindfulness-based trauma recovery course, you would shorten the name either to just be mindfulness-based emotional clearing for those who aren't licensed therapists, and or mindfulness-based trauma recovery for those who are in the field of psychology or counseling. You could pick one or the other to be on your certificate if you were to complete when you complete the coursework for MBTR. So MBTR, Mindfulness-Based Trauma Recovery, utilizes a lot of imagery work where we have our clients closing their eyes and bringing to mind certain images or colors to work with. The light trance hypnosis portion uses imagery to help clients learn to relax and to help you as the facilitator guide the client to accessing their deepest hidden subconscious belief systems. Imagery is utilized to establish a sense of comfort, ease, and safety throughout the session as well. And we guide the client through healing imagery exercises to rewrite those faulty belief systems, replacing them with client-generated intentions and affirmations. And it's very client-led. Your clients are guiding you through this whole process and coming up with their own healing that's needed there. And we always end the session using empowered imagery for healing as well. And included in each session that I use with my clients or that I work with is imagery and prayer for calling in our divine support team, which is an optional add-on for those who are leading a spiritual type of healing practice like my own. And obviously there are a variety of options given for those more secular clients as well. I work with clients on both ends of the spectrum. But the use of imagery is important because the subconscious mind speaks in colors and images. So if we want to get to the deepest parts of the psyche, we need to speak its language, right? The utilization of imagery helps to activate the subconscious mind, calling it on board with the client, with what the client wants to create in their conscious waking life. The imagery serves as commands for our psyche to follow when we use them in the proper way. We command the subconscious mind to align with healing, peace, and success. And the next thing we know, those things are finding us rather than us even needing to seek them out in life. And it's kind of magical and amazing, the power of the mind, and to watch this happening with your clients. So mindfulness-based trauma recovery helps us learn how to most effectively use imagery for healing and for the manifestation of our clients' truest desires for health, harmony, happiness, whatever it is they're going for. Mindfulness-based emotional clearing and trauma recovery is about helping people find their own capacity for healing. We facilitators give our clients the tools to become conscious and aware beings who have control over their actions, their symptoms, their impulses, their cravings, their emotions, and their bodies, and to skillfully cope in the moments when they don't, right? Because nothing is 100% of the time, right? So while your client is learning to use this imagery and while your client is accessing their inner healer, you're also giving them tools for coping so that maybe they're experiencing life's challenges, but they're not experiencing suffering over it as they had prior to their sessions with you. Through mindfulness-based trauma recovery, we educate people on their ability to create the life that they want through the choices that they make. We facilitators show up with the script, and the clients make the connections between their current challenges and their faulty beliefs that they've unknowingly been carrying since childhood, right? We use that script to kind of get them there and find that, but they find it for themselves, and it's really amazing to watch them do this. And this starts to change everything they believe about their power and their ability to create healthy relationships or a healthy body or manifest real joy in their lives. There is a force for healing in us. It's the force of all creation, the same force that creates life, the same force that's in a sperm and an egg, or creates the intricacies of an ear with all of its curves and valleys, the energy that moves planets and sends asteroids colliding, the same force that moves rivers and created the mountains and the oceans. We are that energy. And if we learn how to direct it properly, we can accomplish anything. Teaching people to tap into their body and their mind's innate healing wisdom and how to use the circumstances surrounding them in their lives is vital to their healing, their growth, and their expansion. Mindfulness-based trauma recovery sessions include an intake questionnaire, and these are all the things you would learn in the training as well. An intake questionnaire for getting the client's mind active in discovering what it is that they want from the situation in respect to how it's been in their lives, right? A touch of mindfulness is built into every session to give our clients familiarity with the practice so that they feel comfortable using it on their own. We use a light trance hypnosis state coupled with traditional hypnosis suggestions for bringing the subconscious mind into a state of relaxed agreement and recognition of creating and attracting the desired outcome. Guided imagery helps the client in gearing up for the emotional release of the blockages that have been stopping them from acquiring access to the benefits listed in those hypnosis suggestions that we had given them. Somatic recognition follows that, whereby we guide the client in using the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the body in accessing the time and place of emotional overwhelm, where the ego latched on to unserving belief systems and began creating and developing certain survival, soothing, or protection mechanisms in accordance with those. We utilize imagery for what I call group integration, the process that we use to support our clients in recalling and reclaiming all the energy that was caught up in related memories and experiences where that original maladaptive mechanism or those mechanisms were reinforced, right, over a period of time or a lifetime. In belief system repatterning, it's a part of the group integration portion where we are repatterning old belief systems and transmuting them and transforming them into new growth and healing. We use memory resolution as a way to signal and remind that ego or the subconscious survivalist part of ourselves that peace is possible and This signifies a letting go of the past traumas, bringing all of the mind, the body, and the spirit into present time awareness, living only for this moment. And this allows the client's actions to no longer be ruled by the emotions of the past in today's experiences. Um, Practitioners are also taught post-talk and follow-up strategies to guide the client in finding new ways to implement these upgraded and positive belief systems. Um, and we are guided in supporting them to find for themselves the most appropriate action steps to achieve these newly formed goals or desirable qualities of life and positive states of being. Training includes lectures and exercises and mindfulness exercises and how to teach them to clients. We practice together multiple times throughout each day that we're together to get a feel for the powerful shift that mindfulness can bring. Training also includes law of attraction or law of mirroring training, which is a whole separate course that you get on video. So you receive the mindfulness trainings on video, the law of attraction trainings on video, and the mindfulness-based emotional clearing and trauma recovery techniques in the one-on-one or the, in-person group classes as well. All right, well, thank you for checking out this slide. I really hope, or slideshow rather, I really hope that you will check out some more information on the website about mindfulness-based trauma recovery at mbtraumarecovery.com and reach out to me at my email address or my phone number there if you'd like more information about attending the class. I try to hold the class a couple times a year. Right now in Illinois, I'm seeking some different locations throughout the country. So if you're interested in putting together a class in your area, please let me know as well. All right, thank you so much. Take care and be well.